Hi friends, welcome to Aishudiy. Today we will learn how to make this wire wrapped bracelet project. I made this and I really like it. So this is the bangle. It's a bangle bracelet. It's a wire wrapped plus metal working bracelet. And as you can see, it's like a cuff bracelet. And I used a 26 gauge wire in this example, but I'm gonna show in the tutorial how to make this with this wrap with 24 gauge, and this bangle on the side will be 18 gauge. So we need 18 gauge wire, and then we need, this is a little bit wobbly when you hold it like this, but when it fits, means it sits on your wrist, it's perfect, as you can see. So I really like this bracelet. There is possibilities endless. You can have any small focal you want and make this bracelet pretty much um, like any way you want. So any beads will work. Since it's going to be very few beads, I took these gemstones. These are freshwater pearls, which has a unique um, shape to it, and then some 4mm faceted amethyst round beads. 4mm I have. I'm using two of those. So you can use any kind of beads you want. You can use roundels, you can use crystals, Swarovski, whichever. And then wire wise, we need 18 gauge and 24 gauge. Yes, the color is a little bit different. That's why I wanted to do the copper, because I had it, but then yeah, so I would like to use these two wires anyways. So this is for 24 gauge wire wrapping, and this is for the bangle part of it. And then for the clasp also we need some wire. And tools wise, we need our round nose pliers, wire cutters, and needle nose pliers, or I have here bend nose pliers. You can also use the tweezer nose pliers. This is my favorite. And these tools we need, and this one, nylon jaw pliers. And if you have the bail making pliers, I would like you guys to use the bail making pliers to form this U part of this bracelet. So if you have it, you can use it, or you can use any pencil or a rounded mantle that you have in hand, like chopsticks or so. That will also work. So and then we need our bench block, which is right here. I just had some stitches on my shoulders. I can't lift this bench block, so I'm leaving it on the side. You need a bench block and a hammer. That's needed to do the flattening of this wire. So for the start, what we need to do is you need to straighten your wire. That's important that you straighten your wire. I don't know how efficient I will be, but today but I'll try. So here you don't have to flatten your wire per se, but it needs to be quite straight. And then you need to take about, so it is from 12 to 18 centimeters you need for one side of the bangle. You need two lengths of that, and it depends upon your wrist size. This is a bangle bracelet and sits perfectly, and it should be customized. In my opinion, it should be customized to your wrist size. So I did 16 centimeter, and I felt it was a little bit big and I couldn't add more beads in the center, so I'm going to take only 14 centimeter this time, or 14.5 centimeters. Okay, so I want you to take two lengths of the same wire. Just don't what to say, don't measure the wire individually. Cut one piece and then go ahead and measure another length with the same piece, and then use it. So here we go. I'm gonna straighten this wire too, and always flush cut the ends. You don't want a pointed end on the side. Okay. Then once you keep this wire together, you will know for sure. There we go. We have 2 lengths of these, and I'm going to put those away. Oops. Okay. There we go. And now what I'm going to do is I don't know if I can move this. Okay. Take this wire, take your bail making pliers, or you can take your pencil or chopstick, whichever you have available, about in the middle. This is a third biggest size, I guess. You can also do it to the second. I would say second is the best. But then I want you to put it there and then bend it. I want both the sides to be the same. When you are bending it, if you come across that one space is shorter than the other, just make it like that, open it up, and then again try to twist it so that you can get a uniform. So you can also put it in this third biggest setting, because we need a U, and it's pretty much the same size. As you can see, I'm taking my time to actually do this. I am not rushing it, because you don't want, once you lose the shape, it's hard to get it done with. So you just press this a little bit, and then at the same time make your wires not crisscross and stay parallel. Okay, once you achieve this U, just right here, okay, and straighten your wire like that. Pull your wire like this. Okay, so it should be the same size. If not, you need to snip off a little bit. Do the same for the other side too. So now what you have is, you have to bend this wire just a little bit so that it doesn't crisscross and it is on the same side. Okay, just make it, and you can also use your nylon jaw pliers to do the straightening part. Okay, just like so. Okay, just bend it again. I'm bringing it closer, and then again I am separating these wires so that it just, there we go. So we have pretty much what we want, and I want this together, but this part I want it pretty much U shape, and I want this to come parallel to each other. So you can also straighten your wire with your nylon jaw pliers. Okay, this is what I should have, and you can also do this and keep that down. As you can see, one is going front and back, so we should fix that. And then this one right here, so the same thing, you can keep it in the third biggest size and just try to make this even. Once you get a little bit, and go to the second biggest size, and then do the same. We want a U. So as you can see, and then bend it again. Put in the second biggest setting and make this U as small as you can. The wire will twist for you. Just make sure that if you are not happy with this shape, then go ahead and do it again. So you take your time to shape this. We need pretty good shape, and that's basically what we are doing with these pliers. And take your time to actually make this nice and straight. You can bring these together, hold these ends together, and then just push these ones. So see, you just bend this a little bit backwards and then forwards. It will form a shape. So now we are ready to hammer this. Just going to bring my bench block. It's going to be a little bit loud, and I'm just going to hammer this. There is a little bit of bend here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my pliers and take care of that. And as I said, do it slowly so that you don't tarnish the wire. And see if these two are similar to each other, more or less. Almost there. If you want, you can go ahead and cinch it a little bit, and again separate the wires, and again there we go. So now you can go ahead and hammer this down. both the sides. As you can see, when you hammer it, the wire just kind of bends a little bit. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to hammer the other side too. Even strokes. Okay, and you can also give it a texture if you do it in this side. I'll show you guys. So it will create small bends on the wire. That will create a texture. I'm going to texture only one side. I'm not going to texture on both sides of the wire. You can see the difference between this and this. If you don't like the hammering part, you can skip it, but it would be nice. I'll just do this off the camera. So now I did hammer this part, and I have this much of a difference in the wires here, so I'm just snipping that off just a bit, and here too. That's what I have so far. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a rounded object. Any round object in your house will work. So I'm finding the place where I hammered it with the other, and then I'm just going to bend this like that around the round form. If you leave it, this is how yours will become. And I'll do the same for the other one too. Any rounded box or medicine box, whichever you have in hand, will work for this. So I want this to be nice, and if you can also hammer this with the rubber mallet, but it's totally up to you. So this is off a little bit. We have to fix that, and so put it again here and then press it. Okay, we have these two ready. Now what we need to do is we need to prepare the clasp. For the clasp, you need to, I'm working off the spool. I'm just snipping off the wire, flush cutting, and taking my round nose pliers and making a loop. So this loop, I don't want it to be very small. So because I need to make a loop with this, and then I need to add both the wires in this loop. So I wanted a considerably big loop. So I'm just taking it here, about keeping it in the middle of the mandrel, and then I'm just going to make a loop. Just like so. So I made a loop. Now I'm going to make a loop. You can either do it with a pencil or a marker, or you can use the bail making pliers to make the loop. It's a nestling that we are going to make. So I already made the loop here. Now I am going to make a nestling on the fourth biggest setting of this mandrel. So here we go. Okay, hold on to that and then go all the way here. Once you do that, go ahead and snip off the wire exactly at the point where it intersects the crossing. Use the flush end to cut it. And this is what we should have. Just press it with your pliers and our yes link is ready. So we got this, and then we need to make the hook. So for that also, I'm using it with the spool. I'm snipping off the end so that the end is flush. And then what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do the same thing, do the same loop. So there is particular ways to make this. You can also make a wrap loop. I would prefer to make a wrap loop. In this I made a loop which is open, but this also works because it's an 18 gauge, but still you can feel that there is a small gap here that might, you know, poke. It won't poke literally, but there is a gap here. So instead of this, what I can do is I'll take the mandrel, put it over here. You can make a wrap loop. So you can do it with your 20 gauge wire too. So I'm just making a loop and I'm seeing if the loop is big enough. It is. So and then I'm just going to straighten the loop and then do one wrap. I'm not trying a lot because it's an 18 gauge. It will be tough on your hands, fingers. Then I'm just going to snip off. I'm not going to snip off this. I'm just going to measure say 4.5 centimeters of wire. Okay, about 4.5 centimeter, and then snip off the wire. Okay, this is what we have so far. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to bend this wire. Okay, just going to bend this wire all the way up till this end. Okay, just like that. And then you can use your nylon jaw pliers to kind of squish this a bit. You don't have to squish it completely. We still want a little bit of a fat end, fat U here. So as much as you can. Okay, just like that. See, this one is right. I want this right above our loop. If it's not, you can just snip off a little bit so that it just stays under the radar kind of. So you can put this here. And okay, now you have this. You can also go ahead and squish this a little bit. And once you do that, I want you to continue this wrap. So how you continue is, first you straighten this out because take your pliers and wrap it once more. You can also use your round nose pliers to kind of hold this. Sorry about that. Round nose pliers to kind of hold this loop so that you can get a tight wrap with your needle nose or flat nose pliers. So that's what we have. If you have a rather sturdier pliers, I would suggest you use that and kind of tuck in this tail. Okay. Just there we go. Then what I'm going to do is, it's barely in here, but that's okay. If it is even barely in here, that's more than enough for us. All we need to do here is take our round nose pliers and then hold it here about 1/3 of the distance and just bend this wire. Make sure this goes inside. There we have our hoop ready. Now what we shall do is we shall take our bench block and then hammer this. Hammer this link just a bit. Sorry, it's loud. Okay, there we go. And then this round part, if you want to hammer, you can hammer it a little bit. And there's nothing more to hammer in this. And let me move this on the side. Now these two wires that we have, I want to make a loop together. So you can use this pliers, that way you will have a loop in the same size, but I prefer to use this. So I want the loops to be similar. Anyways, one, and then you can twist this and turn around and do the other, just like so. And as you notice, I haven't completely closed my loop yet because we are going to add our hook here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to close these two with my tweezer nose pliers. And as I told, be gentle and slow, so there is no rush. Okay, one part is ready. The other part, all we are going to do is the same thing. I'm going to make a loop with both of these wires together, starting with one, and then you can do the other one too. So now you add the S-link, you add the small part of the S-link to this hoop, and then you can use your pliers to kind of close this loop. Just make sure your S-link is inside, and then close it. Just cinch it down. If you're not happy with it, go ahead and cinch it one by one. And this part is done. So this is our hook part is done. Now we need to do the front one. The front one, we have our beads. We are going to take a 24 gauge, take our ruler, measure about 10 centimeters. That's good enough. Take our beads. So it depends upon the beads. So the beads that I chose has smaller hole because it's freshwater pearls. And then gemstones. These are these gemstones from Beadbox Bargains, and the pearl is from Mercari. This Beadbox Bargain gemstones are bigger. So this is what we have. Yes, it goes nicely. I'm going to take my pliers and hold it on top of the beads, bend it to the right angle, and do the same here too, so that I can lock this bead in place, just like so. Then all you need to do is take your nose pliers, make a loop, but before closing the loop, I want you to add this to the center part here. And then what you want to do is you want to hold it here and then wrap this nice and tight. Okay, and then you're going to snip off the excess wire and tuck in the tail. Then come to the next side and do the same thing. You're going to make a loop, and before closing the loop, you're going to put it inside here. So when you're seeing that side of the bangle, and now bring the loop and wire wrap it. Ten centimeters is a kill for this wire wrap, but depending upon your bead size, you can take the amount of wire that you need. Probably for this much, I wouldn't need more than 8 centimeters. So you can decide upon that. So here we go. Our bracelet is ready. It's nice and pretty, as you can see, and it stays like this on your hands, and then you can hook it like that. I hope you guys like this video. If you do, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit the bell icon for notification. I do upload videos couple of times a week, and actually every day. It comes around 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and this is the copper version. You can do any color wire you want. 18 gauge is the one I'm using it. I wouldn't go below 18 gauge. And thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, Have a good day. Bye.